Hey guys, Smiley Face X here again, and we're in with match number 4 of the Division 4 Cathay League of the Big Crunch. So here we have myself playing as Amazons versus Sullivan's Bretonian team. So he induced one blocker, and that was it. He had 90k and didn't want to spend any treasury to get a bribe or anything, so he's got one blocker spare, and he had to get a lineman to fill out his 11 players. I have 13 players, but they're only journeymen. So I've got strength up, movement up, and a mighty blow, and he has 2 tackle, which is a bit shit. Considering how bashy this league is, I'm surprised he got tackle first instead of dodge on his characters, but he must have been looking at me and the Skaven player up ahead and just bit the bullet for the Chaos teams. So we're playing in blizzard weather, which is GFI's take an extra one. I get an injury off the bat, immediate KO. Not the worst thing, she's safe from an injury, I guess, is one way to look at it. Alright. Against this team, the plan isn't too different to the other ones, where it's just try to make him make a lot of blocks and box him into the either center of the field or either of the edges, and just trying to force a turnover, obviously, which is pretty much everyone's goal when they're defending, so that almost doesn't need to be stated. But big decisions I have to make this turn is what I want to blitz with my mighty blow. Because he has lineman, which has 7 AV and no block, they're a pretty easy target to hit and to knock out. They're a bit easier. But because he has 1 spare, I'd need to make at least 2 of them for it to make a difference on the game. Or I can try to knock out his blitzers, which are definitely Bretonian's best piece. And if I was to do that, it would actually severely impact the game. But they're armor 8. So it's whether I want to go for the soft, easy target or the slightly harder, but more important target. So I'll pretty much change my mind backwards and forwards throughout the game. But so first things first, we're going to stand these people up. He's got tackle, so I don't want to dodge away. So I just want to make one of the flanks really weak. We're going to make the other flank really weak with strength up and a blodge on the front, and then we're going to take the hit on the difficult one. We got our movement guy in the back just as a safety, and yeah, we don't get anything off that block, which sucks a little bit, but what else can you do? Pretty sure the left side is our weaker side. Blitzing off one piece into hitting the other one was be a bit rough. Gets a KO on the second turn as well, so KO on the first turn, KO on the second turn. Puts me down players pretty early, which is a bit shit, but I'm still in a good position to hold the defense. So I'm not too worried about it just yet. Second block doesn't work, and he's going for the block on Mighty Blow player. Very reasonable. Gets it. And she's fine. Sick. So left side sealed up. Ball carrier a little bit loose, so I'm looking for chain pushes because I feel like there's opportunities if I put a guy here and make the block with this guy on the lineman somewhere, but I can't quite piece it together, and this blitz pretty much seals it that you can't really get something happening just yet because of his reposition is just insane. So we're just going to make the blocks. Doing the lying down character first, obviously. Mighty blow onto his tackle, this would be great. Stun, good enough. Moving back to keep him safe. Make all the other mighty blow ones. That one's good. No injury. And we make that other one, which is nice. So we're in a pretty good spot here. I feel like I have the left flank down pat pretty good. I've got his person pinched between a strength 4 and a dodge, with a lineman in the middle that can easily turn into a 2-die for me either way. And I've got this really annoying blodge piece on the corner that can stop him from rotating to the right, hopefully. It decides to blitz the left flank, which I feel like is my stronger flank. Doesn't really pay off for him. And the only other block he has is a 1-die. Takes it, only gets a push. Fair enough. So I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good spot. I just stalled him out this entire turn. He pretty much didn't make any progress, which is, other than a sack, the best thing you can do on a defensive turn. So we're going to try to take out his tackle piece. These two tackle pieces are obviously the best against my comp that has all dodge. It works, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't break armor. Oh, it does, but it's just a stun. So it's not a removal, so it's not for the rest of the game. So just keep moving it back. And we've sealed up the right flank a little bit more. We get double skulls, no worries, we got plenty of rerolls. And we make that one. We've got 2 chances at the guy here. We do make that. Beautiful. And we get a little arm break there, so 2 stuns on that turn. And we're going to decide just to stand up the corner just because it has blodge, so it's actually pretty tricky to get by. I feel like in this stage here, his best bet is probably stalling out where he is and making blocks and hoping for armor breaks. If he really wanted to make something, I feel like putting a piece on the corner of the blitzer and making that block and trying to make a cage in this region somewhere might be an option. But at the same time, if I see that, I feel like he's in desperate mode, and I'm feeling pretty good about him making that attempt. Because of these 2 dudes here, it makes it pretty difficult for a rotate over to the right. He doesn't quite have the movement. That's why I say staying in the middle is pretty good. He makes the blitz on this side, which I'm feeling pretty good about as well. It's another KO, which sucks. That's 3 knockouts in 4 turns, making me down to 8 players. I haven't gotten any removals yet, even though I've been hitting armor 7 most of the game, or hitting with Mighty Blow. It's not quite working. Chip away is right flank again, and we're just going to make all our blocks here and hope that we start getting some removals. Still not quite getting it. Can't really foul the tackle player. If I could, I definitely would, but it's just not something that's able to be happening right now. Yeah, we get a second try at the lineman. Still doesn't work. I feel like the exact same situation is occurring though, where like left is probably his better chance because of that move. But I'm also very happy to see the left do that. However, going to the right is probably the better option, or even staying there and just trying to make blocks. He stands everyone up. I noticed from like the first couple of turns that he's standing everyone up rather than trying to dodge out and stuff, so use that to my knowledge, and I see that he's putting someone on the wing, so he's obviously trying the left flank break. But not with the ball. So pretty sensible. Makes every blitz with the tackle player. And it's paying off for him, tackle doing work. He follows here, which I feel like is a mistake, because I've got easy blocks in the middle with my strength up character, and putting him into the corner and then blitzing, using my thrower to push him into the corner and then using my blitzer to surf him is a big deal, especially that it's a tackle piece. I feel like staying there would have been 100% the better option. And I feel like this is the big turn where I've got the massive right flank numbers. I can make all these blocks in the middle, and I can even surf his most dangerous piece and like pretty much box him in on the corner, and the drive's pretty much over. I rolled double skulls into double skulls on my person without block, and she gets KO'd for the 4th KO of the drive. That, as that was my first action of the drive, pretty much seals it up, as this is the easiest block of his life, and then he just runs down, and I don't have the movement speed to get back in front again. It's interesting to note that I feel like I could have done this drive slightly better If we just rewind a little bit, I'm not sure where it's up to here. Yeah, so it's his blitz here. He follows. I'll pause it straight after that. Follow. Alright, so my plan was make the block with this catcher, which blocks that guy, and then these two can swing around to reinforce. So put an extra dude here to make this block on one of these two, which frees up the 4 strength into the 1 die block there. I'm just staying and moving there. Oh, sorry, not the blitz. The assist, and the other guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a GFI to give 2 assists to my thrower to get that person in there and the surf to. So I really needed the catcher to make that block so that I can move these people. A push wouldn't quite be enough. It would have required another block, which would make that, instead of a 2 die into a 2 die, would have made it a 2 die into a 1. A 1 die into a 2 die, which I'm still fine with as I have a reroll. Alternatively, I could have, as this person has block, move the far line woman around as far as I could and made the block with block, which still makes this a 2 die, which makes this a movement, and that another 2 die into moving that person, which would have been the safer option. So I did make a mistake there, not using my blodge character to make the first block by moving around. I did get 1 in 81, which I'm obviously a bit sad about, especially the knockout on top. That kind of seals the drive. But it does happen. That was a small misplay from me, but a massive punish in my opinion. So he runs down the field, very reasonable, and makes his sideline cage. Decides to blitz with the tackle piece to try to get my mighty blow. Fair enough. Makes the reroll because he hasn't had to use any yet, and he had 3 on the last 3 turns, so most valuable piece, 100% you try to take it out. Doesn't get it on that, but gets it on the wrestle. I'm expecting a foul here because he does have 2 spare linemen. And he's not going to make the block on the 4 strength person, but instead he decides to maneuver instead of foul. So pretty happy about that, as 7 it doesn't really hold up. I decided to do the run around block on this turn because I've been burnt by it once before, so we may as well do it properly this turn. And then we're just going to go for the 2 die onto the lone lineman and try to get my blodge next to the ball carrier. If I can get both there, it's looking pretty good. Well, not pretty good, it's still pretty bad, but it's very hard to deal with if I have both there. I don't make the first block, which makes me like a little bit sad, and then I fail the 1 in 9 again and get KO'd. It pretty much seems like the theme of this game is every time I try anything to roll the die, it's going to fail and I'm going to get knocked out, which is a bit shit. But because it's his drive, he's going to score. I'm going to get 1 line of scrimmage blocks, and then we start the next half. I'm going to get 2 rolls at the KO die, so I'm not too worried about the 5 of these, because over 2 times that they roll for their KO, 75% of them should get up, which is enough to get the job done. It's 3 or 4 of them, and I've got 2 spare, so as long as 3 get up, we get a full squad. He goes 1 short, it's fair enough, stalling out for the last turn, very reasonable play to make. So I'm just going to try to make blocks here and get as many injuries as I can, try to make the second half a little bit easier for me. I'm lucky he does the reroll again on a block, on my mighty blow, doesn't get it, and frees it up for the blitz. We've got 2 dice set over here. We're going to definitely try to take out the blitzer, the tackle piece. Make that one first without a doubt. get the block, but we don't get any knockout. We try this one. We only get a push. I thought about re-rolling that, but I decided not, just in case it's a riot gainer turn. That could be pretty huge. I stand this character up just as bait for him to do one last block and hopefully 1 in 36 into a 1 in 36 fail. Doesn't quite work. It's probably a bad idea just to get my strength up piece blocked. And then he just scores. Very reasonable. So we get our line of scrimmage blocks, which I'm hoping for something to help me out in the second half, as scoring two times in my own drive is going to be a bit difficult. 3 of the 5 get up, which is slightly higher odds, but again I do get another roll at it after this, so I'm down no players at the moment. I'm fielding a full team, as is he, and he still has the 1 spare journeyman. Puts his journeyman on the line, which is fair enough. If he gets killed, it doesn't matter. I have 1 lineman with 5 SPP, being this one, so I decided to put her back along with a catcher to farm a bit of SPP. Hopefully get a level out of this game. I do have a reroll to make that happen. I'd rather use the reroll on skilling the line woman rather than ensuring a block on the line. I'm still hoping to score early and get a what do I say? A 2-1 win here, because I feel like my defense was very good and it was holding up well, and I was just cornering him into the sideline when I got the 1 in 81. So I feel like if I just maintain that play, I can get the ball back off him, and even if I couldn't, at least he like wouldn't score, but the chance is there for me. We do get a KO on his blocker, which is nice, so if he stays out for the game, that's good. That's just another lone lineman that's going to have to stay in. And with this block here, we're using our 4 strength and we're going to get 3 die on it, make it as secure as we can. We get it. Just a stun. Now the SPP play. Failed the pickup. That's alright, that's why we've got to reroll. 3+ seems to be the most inconsistent roll in the game. Get the throw into the catch and we skill up a line woman. Alright, coming into half time. Down a touchdown. 1 of my KOs come back. My movement blitzer doesn't come up, unfortunately, but we've still got a full field, so I'm happy with that. They sub out their 5 SPP lineman for a journeyman one. He's already played, so I guess he's in the running for MVP. And again, we're just really hoping for those line of scrimmage knockouts, and hopefully his armor doesn't hold up as well as the first half, and we actually get a few removals. Might make it a little bit easier. My mindset coming into this half was try to score early. If I still have rerolls, or if I make a couple of Kaz, 100%. I should rephrase that. Sorry. If we still have our rerolls, and if we make a few Kaz, 100% go for the 2-0. If it's starting to get a bit shitty, we 100% just stall out and accept the draw. So we get an injury on the kickoff again. This time it's not a knockout, it's just a stun, which I'm a little bit pissed about, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I was setting up for a 3 die on the Roger. Doesn't quite work out. So we have to do a... Don't get the Mighty Blow hit either, which sucks. But that was part of the 3 die. So we have to make a non-block hit there. Doesn't quite work, but we decided to just push him and make the block again once we secure up the ball. Again, just hoping for the injuries. We just make the 2 die on him. And luckily enough, we get a KO. That's probably his most difficult player to tackle, as I don't have tackle and he has wrestle and dodge. Get the other down, no arm break. Cool. So, we made our line of scrimmage blocks. We got one removal, which is just fine. Pick it up. I could stay back here. This is very secure. Or I could advance the ball a little bit. I think with 2 going for it, so you can mark it. Or if you do some like really edgy dodges, you can get a 1 die on the ball carrier. So I'm happy with that. I'm letting him take that option if he wants, because I'm just trying to advance the ball. I'm a bit pissed that I gave him this block on my Mighty Blow player. That's definitely my best player. But her armor holds up, which, thank God. He does follow, which is, again, strange, as it doesn't have piling on, so there's no real reason to follow, and it just gives him a block with my line woman. Admittedly, he's made that block pretty hard to get, but it is there. So I'm looking at the moment, the left flank's pretty secure, and the right flank, there's definitely options to be had here, especially that's because where my Mighty Blow player is, so I don't just want to stand that Mighty Blow player up, I want to at least make a block and get people off offer. So, had to use a reroll, we get the 1 in 9 again, which sucks a bit, but we do get the injury out of it, so happy with that. So 1 more removal means he's down to 9 players. And we're starting to look alright. I put my catcher right on the edge as the rough scoring threat. She can't quite score yet, but keeping her on the edge, it definitely makes it hard, especially because she has strength 4. I decided just to try to take out the edge of her column, which is the lineman. Mighty Blow doesn't quite do its job, and I get a perm on a line woman when I try for a 1 die just to get the blitzer off me. It's a bit annoying that my one risky die roll, I guess you could say, of the game goes wrong, even though it's a 3+. But that's part of it. So I'm not too worried. My blitzer, my Mighty Blow blitzer stays alive, which I'm happy about. He obviously gets another chance at it, and he decides to blitz the one person that's like pretty much the worst person to blitz on the team, as it's not affecting the cage or anything. Gets another injury, which really hurts because that brings us down to equal numbers. We're both down 2. Dodge is doing a thing, but being down 2 each means before his turn I was quite happy. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a throwing play, like blitz the lineman off, do a throwing play, and run down the field. After it got evened up with the Kaz and the double skulls, meaning that I had to use another reroll again, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty dirty, because I don't really have the rerolls to make a sack, pick up, and run away with the ball. I kind of think that you should have like 2 rerolls for all that, not to mention like a runaway touchdown like I plan on doing here. And with all these blocks failing, just being pushes, he can just outrun me with these 3 guys, and that catcher pretty much can't get the distance. So it's not worth doing that. So I'll keep my cage where it is. That was a bit of a ragey move. I probably could have maneuvered it to the right a little bit or done something, but I was just a bit pissed off that my blocks weren't working, and I guess a little bit of anger from the first half again, when my defense fell apart with the 1 in 81. I was starting to get a little bit of emotion getting to me. But he seems to be doing very odd stuff with his backfield. He's keeping one in safety, so to pause it now, 1 way back in safety, 1 Connie in the middle, 1 on the right, leave me that block, which is like 2 agility. He's not going anywhere anyway, may as well. And then 2 out this way that aren't really in formation. If he set it up where this guy, another guy, either 1 square in between or 2 squares in between, and then repeated that action and made a firm line, it'd be very difficult. But at the moment he's just giving me like a massive box in the middle to make, as long as I can make the 1 blitz on the blitzer. So I'm like, okay, I realise keeping my cage there was a fucking pretty dumb move. So I'm going to try to remedy that and make a full length sprint up the field now. So we make the block that's needed, push him to the side, And unfortunately I counted my people wrong, and I used the corner to assist on that block instead of the back corner. So I have to put my Mighty Blow player on the corner of my cage, which I'm a bit pissed about that I made that mistake. It should have been the back player, and then the front corner should have been the front corner there. Instead I've just made it like the most obvious blitz target in the world. I still get 2 die, and I roll a 1 in 9 again, but it's the last block of the half, so I'm fine with taking it, especially because that's my last re-roll. He still has all 3, because he hasn't really failed anything yet. He's been making all these blocks, I've just been rolling poorly. That was one of the other things that was adding to my frustration, was that I was using my rolls to remedy the shit luck that I've been having, like having the 1 in 9s, failing dodges, whatever it be. I was using my rerolls for that, and he was using his rerolls to reroll block dice like that, which is greedy rerolls if you ask me. Like that's when everything's working for you, and you're like, well, it'd be really nice to have this block, and if you've got him in the bank, why not? Can't blame him for that. But it was definitely adding to my frustration. So he doesn't get the block on my Mighty Blow though, which I'm really happy about. I get the block on his tackle, doesn't kill him. We make the 1 in 9 again, but I've made it with block this time, so I'm definitely being super careful to make sure I'm only using block this time. There was chances for a handoff to the blitzer to make a, I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 2 GFI touchdown that turn, which would have just required a 2 die into a 3+, 2+2+, but I decided against it, as my game plan going into this half was to try to score early if I had, with the caveat that if I had if I had rerolls and if I had the advantage on the men on the field. And like I said, with that KO not getting up and the 2 injuries this half, being down 2 players and losing 2 rerolls already for the 1 in 9s, I just feel like trying to recover the ball and score is a long ass. If I score early, I feel like I'm just giving him a massive window into the game. I'm just realising it would have been a 3+ handoff, a 2 die into a 3+ handoff into a 3+3+ because of the blizzard, because GFIs get slightly harder, so it would have been a pretty crappy play to make. But I do set up to score this turn. With an easy handoff to my catcher. Catcher having catch makes it a 89% to work, which is better than a 2+. She gets knocked down, however, but it's still, even with this all occurring, it's still just a 2 die onto the loner into a blitz with the strength up catcher onto the blitzer, and I could run my passer down the lane, and that gives him 3 turns to reply. So I decide winning's pretty much out of the picture, and I'm just going to score now. So I feel like he's shifted across to the right with the ball, fair enough. I'm going to shift back to the left and try to catch him off guard a little bit, and just keep him on his feet and see what he does. So I need to make that block to secure the cage, and it's looking like the left field is pretty open. Still haven't made my blitz yet, so I may as well make it with the strength up person. Much better recipient for 2 SPP if I was to get the injury than my linewoman. Get the knockout, which is sick, and he appos it into a stun, which that's fine. It still frees up that character to make the hard screen and the massive blitz bait on the edge, which will make it hard for him to get any further than that. So I should just be able to slip around the outside after the blitz is made. He decides to blitz off the corner of the cage, which is very reasonable, as I've been blocking pretty shit, and blitzing that off means that I have to make I have to just make blocks, yeah. So he's also manned up my top player, which is the exact same thing. So we make that block easy enough, and the plan is to blitz with the Mighty Bow player onto the tackle piece. And I should follow here because it leaves my down piece. Sorry, not my down piece. It leaves my back piece. It cuts off the corner to get up for the second assist on the top blitzer, but I don't follow, and I've realised it's GFI afterwards because I was just going to follow up one, and that's actually a pretty big mistake because it means that I can't quite get there. Luckily, I make the other block, which frees up a person to still let me get a 2-die, but it could have gone very wrong. So we're going to move behind our screen with our thrower, and we make the power. So we're feeling pretty good. I decided to stay there as there's chances for a 1-die and sneaking players into the carrier, so I decided to stay there so that neither of these pieces that are already touching the lineman can easily be 2-died. But he finds a better way of doing it, which I didn't see, which is blocking off the top piece and using the down person to run across with a GFI to mark my player. We're on the last turn, so we've pretty much got to score this time, otherwise it's going to be a 0-1 loss. He's marking up everywhere, which is very reasonable. Fails a GFI, but he's got 2 rerolls for 2 turns, so you may as well use it, and he gets it. So fair enough. Tries for a 1-die, doesn't quite work. I'm going to try for a little bit more SPP on my Mighty Bow player, as he's lined up on a lineman, which is pretty safe, especially with a reroll in the bank. Doesn't work. Oh well, and then we have to make, this is the scariest part, we have to make a non-block block onto a lineman, which those blocks have been wrecking me all game. I keep getting the 1 in 9, so I'm pretty scary about having this whole situation occur, but it's pretty much a 1 in 9 into a 1 in 9 to get the tackle player off my character with 1 reroll. So I get the 1 in 9 and I'm absolutely petrified here. We do get the push, but I'm thinking it's all happening again. This is going to be a 1 in 9 and I'm going to just lose the game. And we get a push. I'm like, oh my god, what a relief. And then we walk through to the touchdown. So we draw it up. There's a chance for a 1-turn touchdown. As long as he still has 11 players, I believe it's possible. Which means the KO has to get up. The KO stays down. And even if he did get up, it's still an absolute miracle. Especially in the Blizzard to actually get it. So I'm setting up for it, as I want to protect my players anyway. But I'm pretty sure he's going to go for the line of scrimmage blocks and try to get injuries for his team for a bit more SPP. So pretty much the outcome of this game, 1-1 draw, puts me on 2-1-1. Yeah, looking at the post-game report, I rolled heaps more skulls, about 10 more skulls than I did powers, which shows. I did roll a little bit high on the D6, but I also didn't take many D6s. I took the pickup, a dodge, and then it was all just armor injury. So the D6 was a little bit high, but it didn't really matter as I wasn't rolling that, and the block die were bloody awful for me. He rolled very even across the whole board, like everything he was doing was pretty reasonable, even on the D6 and even on the blocks versus powers and high on the pushes, which is how it should be. So he doesn't go for the 3-die on his blitz there, but he decides to do it on the follow-up. Which is a little bit of a missed opportunity. He still doesn't get the block, and then the only thing left to do is a passing play. So that leaves me, yeah, 2-1-1, and looking forward to the next game, so I'll keep you updated when that happens. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. I'll show you where the pass works on it. pass doesn't work, just a heads up. Oh, it does! I tricked you all! Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.